just 3 on the shot clock. Gets into the corner, forces up, and 3 and it goes!
Look from this angle. Got to follow play out a little bit. That's good work by Dixon, not only to corral that ball, but also to get it to his ear.
That's what you're supposed to do, is what he said.
Talford falls down. Here's a lob to Clark, who finishes with another dunk. Oh, Day-Day.
Majority. Look at that. I mean, he's taking it outside, he's taking it inside, he's taking it down.
But Lynn Greer just turns it right over.
And Clark, elevator up.
He has got much wide-ranging skills. Here we go.
There goes Clark. 3!
Drive, stops at the elbow. Brewer now to Clark. Can't get his man in the air. Clark in trouble, decides to launch a 3 to win in at the buzzer. Jimmy Clark ends the game for Duquesne. He did it at the end of the first half. He does it at the end of the second half. Jimmy Clark, back-to-back buzzer beaters.
Look at this.
Go along with 3 steals as well.
Yeah.
Day-Day's a little bit more dramatic, but that's something from...
Here the Dukes on the run. Alley-oop! Flush it down!
The second chance doesn't work either. Clark navigates Chilton in the flush. The first points of the afternoon. Great hustle.
True legend. True legend.
Tonight, Blue Cats, Kentucky Wildcats dressed in white, and Duquesne dressed in red, and that's going to be a turnover on the opening possession. In transition, an easy bucket weaving his way is Jimmy Clark. Here's Frederick to Wallace, pulls up 15-footer, back iron, Toppin flying in for the rebound, but corralled by the Dukes. Little Euro step floater, and it drops off the back iron for Jimmy Clark.
Excited that time. And Kentucky is knifing these ball screens.
Clark got hammered on Yenso.
Feet from the basket or fouling on the offensive.
Will this be? And Coach Cowell saying, hey, on Yenso. Wants it down low. Kick out past Toppin, passed up the 3, takes it strong, he attacked the rim. A good job defensively by Rotroff to alter it. Thought about it, and then pulling the trigger is Jimmy Clark on it. Wheeler.
There's that hesitation again.
Livingston hanging, firing, and missed it. McGriff corrals it. Beautiful feed, and the stuff on the other end for Jimmy Clark. To Frederick, who had a quiet first half. Back to Livingston on the return. 3 ball, kicks off long, and a nice job on the box out by Joe Reese.
Too many dribbles that possession.
Inside, Dayton with a paint touch and a bucket. Trey Williams, and a quick timeout called by Coach Cal. Beautiful feed, wide open 3, knocked down. Clark has it up top, 12 to shoot.
Good activity by Reeves, fighting through the screen.
Inside, banging bodies, and a tough shot right on the shot block.
This defense gets his hands on the ball. The VCU transfer up to Grant. Nice no look into the air. Miss and a... Here the Dukes on the run. Alley-oop, flush it down. His heel tapped out. Follow, there he is.
Point, they're taking up residency indeed. Time for the Sherwin-Williams points in the paint outlook for today's game. Let's paint. You immediately did, but who else would?
Yeah. We're in game 5. I'm 6.
But he said he's ready to go to the backup pair when Rhode Island comes to town.
Okay, yeah. Because that may confuse Rhode Island. The Rams may not know what to do.
Ball goes out of bounds.
So if you want an early storyline as to how this is 17-15 for a school that I've thought was going to be a tough matchup, and you're just joining us, that's why.
And the three-pointer falls for a change number here, but it just might be 1 point at a time.
Yeah, that's exactly right. But you know what, Tim? That's a great. By the way, Clark's run to the hoop was very impressive. Here we go.
It's a piece of it there. Grant pulls up with the right and hits.
Well, Clark could score for you. He roofed it.
But when the 1 and the 1-3 comes over to help, if you hold your position like Grant there, this is the second time we've seen that just by staying still when the defense starts to morph. If you hang out, you might get an open look, and it doesn't take much room for Grant to get one up. Clark on the outside. Now that's an up fake that worked. He gets the free throw line and cashes it in. They did that 20 times against North Florida.
Oh, wait.
Loose ball. Final possession of the half potentially here for Duquesne. Up by 6, trying to get some distance going into the locker room. Game clock down to 6.5. Here's Clark. Jab step. Now decides to put it up and hit it right before the buzzer. Oh, Jimmy likes it. Jimmy Clark III with the 3 before we get to halftime. And Duquesne goes in up 9. Johnson 1 shooting 42% from the field. Lob to Clark in the dunk.
You pointed out as well, first-year transfer from Cal.
Devin Brewer to David Dixon. Duquesne up by 10 here. Trey Clark around the Day-Day Grant. Three-pointer from the wing, and it's good. That's his 4th. And Day-Day Grant is feeling it, Ellis. Josh Pierre-Louis.
Man, Louis playing like he's from Plainfield, New Jersey.
Yeah, it's a kid who transferred in from Temple after his, I believe, his freshman season. Trey Clark. Down to Dixon off the glass and in, and David Dixon. Nice pick and roll there. That was old school.
To a wall from Ronski. One more chance coming from Rozier. Can he hurry? Gets it to Clark. Man in the air. Jump shot. Good at the buzzer. Jimmy Trey Clark cuts the lead with a 3, and Rozier is fired up for the Dukes.
Two losses in 3 games, but coach says he learned a lot.
Let's see what the Dukes here have an opportunity to do. Brewer with the ball in his hands. Decides to drive. Stops at the elbow. Brewer now to Clark. Can't get his man in the air. Clark in trouble. Decides to launch a 3 to win in at the buzzer. Jimmy Clark ends the game for Duquesne. He did it at the end of the first half. He does it at the end of the second half. Jimmy Clark back-to-back buzzer beaters.
Tip-off, we start to look at the starting lineups, which are brought to you by the UPMC Health Plan, the official health plan of the Duquesne Dukes. And we begin, coach, one of the fastest working offenses in all of college basketball. Really deliberate possession here. It's interesting to watch that matchup between Clark and Kinsey up top. And looks like Clark got a piece of that shot. He did. Taylor with his first hoop. He had 13 versus Duquesne last year. Marshall has won the last 2 matchups between these schools. Marshall also won in 2019. Reese in the game right now. Jump shot from the outside is good from Clark. Bounce and energy offensively in that last game, don't you?
Yeah, absolutely.
And Chili Killen wide open, misses the 3-pointer, and Clark crashes for the board. Back behind the back pass to Grant, who pays it off with a 3.
I used the word lazy, and I wasn't trying to...
Game early like it was last time for the Dukes. Maybe this will be just as close as well as Day-Day Grant heats up from the outside. Able to score off-platform, right, to borrow an NFL term for quarterbacks. But the off-platform scoring is a strong point of his. Just don't get used to it.
That's exactly right.
You know, if you got the chance to be fundamentally sound, it's much better to be that way.
Yeah, and the reality, again, talking about having a big man being able to make the pass.
Clark thought about throwing one up. Reese, good eyes, good finish. The dunk from Williams.
With Reese.
Reese didn't dip down low enough on defense. That allowed Kinsey to get the offensive board.
That's right, and that's why he's going to be on the bench here in about, well, the next whistle.
Brewer's shot is good, right at the top of the key from Tevin Brewer. For the drive and the feed there, as Marshall goes back in front by 5.
Tim, you know, I love passing, and I tell you, these guys are effortless at it. They're playing free and easy, are they not?
And Williams is able to get the hometown roll. Bounced off the window, bounced off the rim a couple times, and he'll go to the free throw line for one more.
Yeah, he got the members rule right.
They built up that whole lead in that entire first half with him barely playing. Clark will get things going hot for the Dukes in the second half, and they needed that to start in their first offensive position.
United States. But like you said, didn't play a lot in the first half.
And Lockton on Williams, gives it back to Clark. Goes with the left hand, finishes high above the box, and Jimmy Trey Clark, second straight trip with the basket for him.
A lot more of hand locked so that he can maybe protect the rim, which is a big calling card of his, according to Keith Dambrot. He's a rim protector.
Clark with the Getty up, gets the feet moving, tries to use some leverage, and angles it into the basket. He'll get a free throw as well. Jimmy Clark.
Majority. Look at that. I mean, he's taking it outside, he's taking it inside, he's taking it down the lane.
Gets the rebound.
It's a great follow for sure. One other thing we talked about with respect to hand Lockton is his ability to run.
Oh, Clark! Why not? Heat check, and the temperature is rising.
Well, somebody must have just said at half, you're going to take all the shots. So
Concordia creating energy solutions. Energy coming from Jimmy Trey Clark.
At half, down to 13 in 3.5 minutes. It's real simple.
Grant a little loose with the dribble, but stays in control of it. Brewer gets his man skyward. Steps in, rebound by Clark. Doing it on the glass as well, and that one goes in. Another basket for Clark. He's on a roll. Fieldhouse floor, Indiana State next Saturday at 2 o'clock, and then as you road ahead. Brought to you by Dean Honda. Visit Dean Honda today on Route 51.
Oh, I know. I've been sleeping here every night.
Clark,
okay.
The lob, the teardrop. He's got it all in the arsenal in the second half.
To start it for Marshall, it was Fricks who tipped it to himself right under the hoop, was able to gain control as the ball turned over. Go.
Brewer gets the motor going, and then it goes to Williams, who rises and flushes. And that touched every part of the rim, and that speaks to his physical ability, his length, his wingspan. How quickly did he get there? It was like 2 steps in just a reach as Clark a rebound.
So Reese has a shot and he has a rebound, and here's would be my player to watch, and that is, of course, Tevin Brewer.
Just on that first shot, comes around.
Nice.
Taking off his Clark. Up and under, good for 2. Duquesne takes the first lead.
And when you make that ball fake outside like that, Tevin Clark, he's much more offensive and frankly a better shooter than Keith Dambrot thought he was getting.
And almost stolen that time by Jimmy Clark. Brewer long pass out. J.D. Grant will take it. 15 on the shot clock.
There it is.
Comes Clark. Banks it off the glass.
Gets a guy up in the air, out of Boca, but through IMG, 6'4", 190 guarded junior. Also was at Indian River State College. Because, of course, but he was 3 of 4 on 3, second straight game. In the last game, a loss of 1 quarter to Santa Clara. He's been scoring the 3-ball well.
Long shot, corner shot, that's good for 3. Put in by Jimmy Clark.
Now turnover.
Crazy.
What spin under that? Up and under.
I know, that was amazing. Gordon.
No.
Got stolen by Duquesne. Here comes Clark. J.D. Grant, cross-court feed. Shot is up. And that's shot by Clark, no good. Clark gets the rebound back. 17 on the shot clock. 3-point bomb up good.
Said Jimmy Clark is a guy that Keith himself, Dan Broad, said, I didn't know he could shoot well when we got him out of Atlanta.
Washington sends it in play. Rozier will steal it, flip it back to the corner, and Clark hits it from the left side.
Obviously, that was a set play coming out of the break.
Duquesne applying that press. Gordon trying to get rid of the basketball. It's going to be stolen again by Duquesne. Put up and put in. That one knocked down that time by Day Grant.
Both those guys, for DePaul, both those guys at 6'7". Drive up under, way up high above the. High screen from Dixon to Beret with the dunk. Oh,
By the way,
Beret, the look, the finish. Up in the air goes Rozier. Clark can't get anybody in the up fake, so he decides to bounce pass instead, and Reese. There's 3 on the shot clock, gets into the corner, forces up a 3, and it goes. Griff, after double screen, throws up the pass, and it's intercepted on the turnover by Clark. Uses the up fake.
Before not even thinking of following the shot.
Now Clark with a 3 of his own. Look at their players of the game, and Talford continues what has been a fine season for him for the Eagles. We'll see if he can get the offense going at this end. It's got a little scattered here until Clark scores in transition.
Well liked. Yeah, and wouldn't you know it, you talked about that yesterday, and of course it's dominated Pittsburgh news today.
Beret goes up, tries to get 2 offensively, and does. It's Duquesne going on the defensive end. What's Clark going to do for an encore? He's going to give it to Day Grant from way outside, who lines up the 3. He's willing to do it. You got to do that.
That's what you're supposed to do, is what he said.
Talford falls down. Here's a lob to Clark, who finishes with another dunk. Oh, Day Grant threw that pass so casually. Where Rozier could have helped. Good job defensively, though, by Clark. Keeps the dribble in front of us. Grant all by himself, sets his feet, fires and hits. It's funny, he's gone. People think he can't shoot, so he constantly tries to prove to people he can shoot. He'll try to prove some here, and has been doing that. And I think what Dan Brott was saying is, we think you can shoot. You don't have to prove it to us. Up fake from Clark, puts on the brakes. Now Brewer with 4 on the shot clock. They got to move. Quincy McGriff, his first shot of the game is true.
That's ridiculous.
Now Clark staying in the game with the 2 fouls. Chiku lost it. McGriff out in front. Got the trail man Reese. Gives it to him. Reese goes up, fouled, and he gets the basket.
Keith is shortening the bench.
That's their idea of it this year. Now Rozier, good defense, forces the turnover to Clark. Pass to Grant, hits him in stride. Grant, contact in the foul.
Wait.
Oh, Day Grant able to corral the pass, control the body, control the shot. Into the corner to Clark. Can't get Thomas to move. Rochoff backs in. He was hugged around the waist, but finishes anyway. As we've seen a number of good coaches come through the Rhode Island program, and now with Archie Miller. Their floater's no good from Grant. Rebound from Gunn. Clark, 3. Second chance. Turns into 3 more for the Dukes. He gets the motor going. Leaving it down low for Reese, who misses the dunk. Stewart the rebound for Rhode Island. See how quick the Rams could be here. Clark knocks it away from Reese. Gives it out to Clark. He'll go up, and he'll finish, plus the foul. Stewart got him, and Kareem Rozier celebrating like crazy to get the Duquesne fans up. And the Dukes are back in front by 10.
Rozier's given 16 minutes today.
The paint outlook for today's game. Let's paint with a broad brush on what the Dukes need to do to take care of the Rams. Sherwin-Williams, the official paint provider of Duquesne Athletics, helping paint the Duquesne story.
Well, number 1 for Duquesne, we're talking about protecting the ball. Duquesne is typically good at it, but as you just saw, VCU excels there, and it keys the Rams. So Peter, he comes out of something called the skill factory.
Pass long. Clark thought about a 3. Instead, we'll take it, drive the paint. Shot up in.
Defensively, he knows VCU. He played there a couple of years.
And the ball lost. Johns Jr. can't handle it. Here comes Clark driving for the layup and puts in 2.
Duquesne's lead out 11-6.
So you get a little float.
Duquesne off to a quick start.
They are. They've been keyed by two players who've keyed them all year. Their first and second leading scorer right there. You see Trey, who comes in, Trey Clark, 3. He's keeping in mind he played at VCU before going to junior college. And here he comes after a pickpocket. And this is the type of thing.
Pass to the corner. Out. Day Grant, 3. That's his third.
You know, he's the
guy that started out at VCU, ended up at Duquesne.
I'm really glad this is a great look here for us to check out all together, including the audience. The 33 points, the 33 games, 130 points early on. Then he transfers to Northwest Florida, where he helped the team obviously go on to win, to have a great record and win the national championship. And then he comes to Pittsburgh, and as you can see, he's done quite well here. He's now second on the team in scoring average at 11.7. That said, great graphic, guys. Trough with that one, he obviously gummed up. We would love that back.
And Clark almost got the steal.
Though to the rim, he'll take it, obviously. As we saw in the game winner earlier this season, it was national news. He has got much wide-ranging skills. Here we go.
There goes Clark. 3! What a shot by Jimmy Clark.
25%, only 1 of 4. You know, the sky's not falling. But on the other hand, that far cry from 45% success from the field in the first half. It starts with defense, is the bottom line.
Rotroff up. Clark gets it, floats it up, and puts it in. Clark will take. 3-pointer by Clark. Bada bing. That's the way you do it.
More on that later. The bottom line is they're getting a big performance here from Johns. This is the push, and we'll see if the surge continues and Duquesne is able to buckle down.
Little Clark bank shot, good for Duquesne.
Or maybe just keep giving it.
Back in by Nunn. For the Rams, Nunn goes to the hole. Can't follow through, but a good pickup and bank in. That time by Christian Furman.
Christian Furman.
Duquesne's Clark for 2.
Clark has gone off. He's now up to 6.
12 to go in this second half. This Duquesne's offense starting to perk up a bit. Stolen by Clark. Here comes Duquesne. Clark going to the hole, fouled. And he will go to the line.
Well, I mean, Clark is on a run, to put it politely, and points 8 of 12, including 2 of 5, as he's at the stripe again. Great graphic that sort of, you know, give an overview of what's going on Duquesne offensively.
Sure.
Talked about Clark and where he was and so forth. Is what, 175 points that he has scored here in 15 games.
Clark forecourt up top. Gunn.
Oh.
Clark throws it up top. Can't put it in. We'll draw the foul.
Keith Ambrod said, number 3 here. We were watching it. I knew the replay was coming. As we look at Clark 3, one of the things that he talked to score, and clearly he felt like he had more game in that respect than other people gave him credit for, or that he earned or didn't earn. But what I'm really impressed with here, so, okay, he just broke his career high here. Thank you so much, Alex, with 19 and now 20 points.
Here comes Clark. Clark throws it up on a double pump, no good.
Day with that opportunity there. He's now in double digits.
Watkins lost it. Duquesne's Day Grant up. There goes the layup, and that ball swatted away. Rozier going to the hole, has that batted out of the air.
Kid plays fearless, man. He's nuts.
60-47. Grant forecourt. Looks to pass. Nice back to Clark.
So VCU used a lot of energy there to get back in the first 5 or 6 minutes, and now it's creeping on them. It's 13.
Clark off the glass and in for 2.
Make it 15. Again, on Williams, but Instead it turned into a basket by Reese. Oh.
Stolen.
Uh-oh.
Clark. Bada bing, bada boom. Clark lights it up.
When he came here, all we heard about was that he was a great, incredibly great defensive player. He's a very good defensive player. He gets himself in trouble at times, but right there he made an excellent defensive play because he has great instincts. He read the play, and once he gets the ball here, he's just going to show out. That's it.
Duquesne, as we are down to 10 seconds to go. None. Baseline.
Oh.
None. Baseline.
But Lynn Greer just turns it right over.
And Clark, elevator up. Trey with the deuce.
But Lynn Greer just turns it right over.
And Clark, elevator up.
We're going the other way here for Rozier. Keon Thompson with those hands defensively. Clark for three, it's good. Diggins to Dominguez, denied by Rotroff. What a block. Good ball movement. Grant for three, it's good.
He should have Bishop wide open threes. You're going to have to make those.
Reese with the shot, it back rims, fighting for the rebound. Lindo taps it to Hunter D. Duquesne coming off the loss to UMass, and there's a big steal by Clark, and he stuffs it home, and Duquesne's on the board.
Duquesne's big three is Grant, Brewer, and Clark. Do what he did. Needs to really be recognized as one of the pivotal moments in this program's history. Because he took them to heights that no one could imagine, and all of a sudden GW was a household name on the recruiting scene all across the country.
Absolutely well said. And it's great to be able to see them back here at Foggy Bottom.
A great move, but you got to finish that.
Yeah, it has been a struggle. 7 of 19 for GW.
Yeah, and no easy basket.
Wide open is Williams, and he hits a three-pointer. Only 1 of 7 going to go up against Williams.
Duquesne plays a lot of guys. They play like 9 or 10 guys, so I'd like Kids to have another steal.
There's another steal. Duquesne all the way in, and a stop for Trey Clark.
Getting the steal. That Jake stepped down and tried to block that. Nope, it's on contested dunk. And the problem, and you know this, Byron, with Coach
Half, where Duquesne was able to get things going early on with a big steal.
See, that's what I'm talking about. Those turnovers, Byron, that lead to...
The defense is going to hand in the face. Got to make sure they don't get the open looks here in the second half.
Yeah, see, and that's just making extra passes. And early in the game, GW had some really good shots from the three. They kicked out. GW had kicked out. But once again, live ball turnovers for
Trey Clark in the corner. Long three. It's good again. RJ Gunn showing his range. Kwanzi hands. Oh, dangerous. Can't do that. Behind the back and the stuff for Jimmy Clark.
Once again, transition points for Duquesne off of turnovers. Live ball turnovers lead.
Welcome back, Washington, D.C. A big steal here for...
3-2 zone. I like this. They got big guards. Clark, Sanders, Harris, and Adams. That's a big guard lineup. We're with the 4 in the row. Just trying to get some defensive pressure without giving up any drives.
Rozier hitting.
Duro works from the outside. Gives the handoff to Polite. Works towards the paint. Runs into a double team. Good strip there from Reese. As he tries to turn defense into offense by giving up to Clark. Stop and pop from Day-Day Grant, and that's true. First shot of the game for Day-Day Clark from the outside.
Very aggressive defense there. I liked it by Reese, and that's what got the whole thing started. Of course, Day-Day is a prolific scorer from three or otherwise.
We stay with George Mason. The Dukes and the Patriots tonight at the UPMC Cooper Fieldhouse. When we come back, we'll talk a little bit more about Keith Dambrod and the quest for 500 tonight on the bluff when they made a concerted effort to try to slow things down to prevent themselves from committing so many turnovers. Except for that VCU game where just because of the way VCU plays, you sort of get pushed into that tempo.
No question about that. And the other thing, shot there.
Yeah, real nice ball move. Part of that since he's been with them almost since the get-go here at Duquesne.
That's for sure. It's not been easy. Nice.
Good steal by Clark.
I don't know. I mean, I think that he definitely took that in and watched it very much like we did. And I'll tell you this, I was also pleased to hear Kim English speak so much about that as well, and how much pride and effect Dan Brock should have in watching that last night.
I thought that was going to be a 3 for Brewer. Instead, it's a long 2. Now, light goes down on the screen from Grant. They both hustle to get back into the play offensively for Duquesne. Day couldn't get the slip to Reese. Clark will try a line drive 3 and knock it out of the park.
He'll take it any way he can get it.
6-5 in this game at the 15:43 mark of the first. And it's taken away. Clark yet again with the good hands. Now Clark is fouled on the floor.
Lost in LaSalle. 7 minutes into that game, they lost one of their better players, Bailey. And we should be thinking about what the impact of that is. I mean, he was out after 7 minutes with a hand injury, and they're behind here as well. So take a look at a guy who's a graduate player like him and has been around.
Leaving it for Gunn on the trail, and RJ fires
there. And I think it has a lot to do with that early season out of conference opportunity that he maximized on.
Grant fine feed to Dixon, but it's ripped away by Ogiaco. Got right back though by Clark. Tries to get it to Dixon, barely kept in bounds. Rozier from the corner. That's good. Kareem Rozier marks at his own bench. Watch it again. Maybe we'll get a cleaner look from this angle. Got to follow the play out a little bit. That's good work by Dixon. Not only to corral that ball, but also to get it to Rozier.
Official coming over.
Henry, though, able to keep it alive for Mason. Trying to get it to Polite, but it's taken away by Dixon. And Dixon has been good defensively.
He's been very good.
I mean, he's had his moments, but I think for the most part he's been good. Now rolls to the rim, up, under, and 2. McGriff to Dixon.
That's one of my favorites. So
under Keith Dambrot. January 7th against Richmond, they had that stretch. They hit 12 straight shots. Winthrop, they got out to a 20-0 lead. Remember that one?
Oh, yeah. I was ready to leave at that point.
Ball swatted, and Clark takes it away. So that has been a big part of Duquesne's game. And we also have seen this, some of these were early in the game, but we've seen this at times too over the years with Keith Dambrot. These spurts that have brought them back from double digits down.
Oh yeah, 20 times.
The explosion from Jimmy Clark.
That's the thing that people don't get maybe on television.
7-footers and a bunch of guards who were under 6 feet. You know, and high-tempo teams at Ashland when he was there. And low-event, grind-out big teams at times too. And there's a attempt to have a high-event dunk from Clark, but that didn't happen. And one thing that I think he likes about this team is, yes, again, Clark, to no one's surprise, gets a steal. Brewer stepping in for maybe his 4th 3. That's no good. Oh, headsy play from Reese, batting it to RJ Gunn. Minutes in this game. Actually make that 26.
Brewer, we're talking 120 assists with 38 turnovers. That's pretty good guard play. And then you got this guy who's bringing all the traffic to him.
And you got this guy as well who gives it up to another guy. Reese with the flush. Got ahead of myself anticipating the dunk from Clark.
Yeah, that was fun.
Sometimes you have to, though.
He really has settled down. He was in a real bad spot, was getting into other parts of his game. He's playing much better today.
That shot no good, and Reese gets the rebound. They had to finish the point about Greer. 16 points per game in the game since the loss to Duquesne, and our scoring is opened by Dave Grant with a 3-pointer from the corner.
He knows how to score. About 15
in the perimeter game so far early in this contest.
St. Joe's shooting 43% from that field that you mentioned there, Tim, and Duquesne's 44.
Well, how about the defensive job there by Clark?
Where he did damage on the court away from the shooting as well. So, again, he's playing more of a floor general type of game right now as expected and anticipated.
Roll from Reese again. One pass too many, but it gets to Williams. Eventually back over to Clark. Little hit. Patient possession. Got a little loose towards the pass out to the wing to Williams, but against St. Joe's either in that first game. 0-4 from the floor, no points. Kareem Rozier handled a lot of the point duties. Owen Greer wanted a goaltend, and so did the St. Joe's bench. They don't get one. Clark behind the back twice. The drive, and he's shut down at the 10. And it's going to go back over to St. Joe's, so we come back. So the defense is ratcheted up from both teams. And 17 of 51 from the floor, just 6.8 points per game after he had the 26 against the Hawks. Brown, another miss from the perimeter. Grant will lead the break, doesn't have numbers, decides to pull it back and give it to Clark. Gets the motor going quickly, and Dixon is fouled on the way up and gets one. Dixon, immediate impact offensively. We saw him a couple games ago do that come around.
I think a very, very promising prospect. As a matter of fact, in that game against Mason, 6 rebounds, 3 blocks.
Really interested to watch to see what Clark did against Reynolds. He thought that he impacted Reynolds' approach during the game last time out. There's a steal from Grant. Gets it right back from Rozier. Open court for Grant. Now he misses on the left-handed layup, and it's brought back down by Fleming. Stolen away by Clark to Dixon. Again with the dunk. And St. Joseph's wants a timeout.
They started to practice real hard after that as we look at some of the action here. Great pass by Clark, who does that no look as well as Patrick Mahomes.
10 off the bench. They want to get R.J. Gunn going as well. And another thing was just to keep it up defensively. You know, to continue what they found defensively. Put those 3 things together into a blender, and he thinks they can do some damage in the tournament.
Absolutely. You'd like to see Reese do some things outside as well, just like McGriff just did, who opens things up.
McGriff was shut out in the last game against St. Bonaventure.
Who wasn't?
Yeah, absolute defensive struggle. Whatever points the Dukes got, they basically got them off the turnovers. Clark with the jab step. And now he hits again from the outside. Oh, Jimmy likes it. He's feeling it from the three-point arc.
I'll tell you what.
Off to a good start. Playing much better and more fluidly on offense than they did last time out. We'll see if they can continue it here in the first half of the UPMC Cooper Fieldhouse.
You have to talk to Coach Dan Broad, see if they're giving him more of the green light offensively, Tim.
Ooh, big pick. Clark absorbed that. Brown got Grant to move, jump stop, and he lost it, and they're going to say it goes off of Reese. Assuming those two usually sub in for each other, and oh yeah, that got overruled, and rightfully so. Work by Fleming, get in the face of Rozier. And I think Clark got a small piece of that one, and redirected the pass, it goes off of Brown, and now R.J. Gunn will come in. Second to go before we get to the immediate timeout. That's enough on the bench for Day Grant. He'll return 25 times. Get 35 points off the turnovers.
It's amazing. 23 in fast break. I mean, like you said, if they don't get those turnovers, they're going to get smoked against St. Bonaventure in that game.
Good catch by Gunn to keep the possession alive. Misses the shot. Williams, non-possession, comes off the baseline to Clark. Couldn't get the defender in the air. Decides to throw it down to Williams with the baby hook.
Over the freshman.
Extended possession pays off for the Dukes. We've had 3 or 4 buzzer beaters that we've done at the end of the first half of play.
They're in their comfort zone here. They're in their living room.
Let's see if Quincy McGriff can make it another one. It's no good. And Brown gets the rebound, so the Hawks will get a chance. Actually stolen by Clark to McGriff. I spoke too soon. A dunk there before the buzzer. It happened again. Quincy McGriff continues to electrify off the bench, and Jimmy Clark continues to take away the ball from the other team at the best possible time for Duquesne.
Unbelievable. And that's what Keith Ambrose talks about living with Clark.
Locker room. We'll watch that replay again. Look at the athleticism of Clark, the awareness to get it to McGriff, and the finish. The Moe's Southwest Grill. Rubino with the handoff to Reynolds. Able to escape, forces one off the side of the backboard. And R.J. Gunn with the pull-up. St. Joseph saw that. Their nightmares after the first one. Got better there. He's talking where they got better, where they can still get better. Number 1 in conference when it comes to 2-point defensive efficiency. Offensive possession kept alive here by Clark. Another good pass from McGriff. Reese foul plus another. Boy,
who's off the bench and shooting from the outside from McGriff now.
Griffin and his interview with you, the associate head coach for St. Joseph. And if I did a control all fine, I'd see aggressiveness 25 times. We see aggressiveness to the hoop. Do you agree?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not sure if you deserve the shot, but you deserve the roll, and they don't get the roll.
If you run at Duquesne and you try to do that straight, just follow the ball and go right up, that's bad because Duquesne's going to get the open shots.
Oh, that's open. Nobody around Williams at all.
2 games for St. Joseph's bench. If this holds up, we'll score 4 total points. As I mentioned earlier, 77 of the 81 points against George Washington came from starters. That tells you, there's still work to be done, and a lot of these guys are young. We got
2 more bench points, 24-0. The advantage now after the dunk from Dunn.
Huh?
Yeah. Not the 3-minute mark, with Duquesne up by 20.
He was quick with that shot.
Leonard's no good, and eventually comes down to Clark. Now has 6 rebounds. And there's a Euro step. Oh!
Is that body control? Look at this.
Go along with 3 steals as well.
Yeah.
Data's a little bit more dramatic, but that's something from.
Good minutes by Larry Hughes, though.
Clark with the step back 3.
Jeez. These guys are good.
Foul's going to be called on Jefferson.
Both teams kind of started to walk and again trying to. I thought Jefferson did a nice job walling up.
Either SlewBillikens.com or you can contact the ticket office at 314-977-4-SLEW. Arbro has it stripped. In transition. And the bucket by Rozier. Scoring leaders as the Bills will have the opening possession to begin the second 20 minutes of play. Quick hands defensively, and they're going to say that was last touched by Reese, the East St. Louis. The first 1-6 he was going to win. Well, they're going to blow past that tonight, even if this comes to a grinding halt here in this half.
That's why we're sitting over here.
Brewer from downtown. 5:58.
You said it earlier, the length of Larry Hughes Jr. really bothering Duquesne's guards. He's 6'5", he's long, he's active.
Clark with the 3 attempts. And
Don't get it, big fella.
that was almost a shot clock violation, too.
VCU for first place. Still get a chance to play him head-to-head.
Clark hits his 3rd 3 of this second half.
Yeah, Duquesne's going to try to they're going to have to speed St. Louis up. A good look.
Now kick to Drame. Drame to Brantley with 10 on the shot clock again. A jab step, a pump fake, and another jab step before he dribbles it. Foul line extended. Crossover, into the paint he goes, and he came down. Got away with it up and down. It didn't matter. It was a shot clock violation.
Duquesne is doing a great.
The paint he is. Hesitates, spins, in traffic again. Back out to the top. Drame for 3. And it's going to barely nick the rim, and the rebound pulled down by the Dukes. K&K Grant. His forward offense very clearly rattled by this Duquesne defensive effort. Grant for 3. He drops the triple. And it's a 10-2 lead for the Dukes. After making a pair of free throws, he checks out. Josh Nickelberry, the deep-range sniper, ordered up by Rich Carr a couple minutes ago into the lineup. And here comes that full-court pressure. They're not quite ready for it. They've got 2 seconds to spare on the cross midcourt. Rokoff has it stripped from behind, but no, he keeps the ball and fires it down for a big dunk. So the pressure initially stalled.
Head up, found the open man, and nice pump fake inside for the dunk.
It initially looked like Brickus might have come from behind and stole that ball. Here's Nickelberry for three, wide open, no good. The pie is wide open as he'll be all night. And here's Rotroff again for the dunk, back-to-back slams for the big guy off the bench. Now 6 for 9 from the arc. Brantley trying to get his game going. He'll take the three. That one won't go. Rebound tip back to the top. And it's going to be Duquesne basketball. Clark in transition, lays it up and in. The Explorers missing 2 deep three-pointers, and just like that, they find themselves.
Start inside at the post position because Joe Reese been a little under the weather. Had a
leading scorer, of course. Fan down on the perimeter, as you see right now, also very good assist man.
Weeks sheds Grant, but Dixon first rebound of the start tonight. Brewer will step into a three, and that's true. Kevin Brewer, that's got to feel good for him.
Kevin Brewer's gone berserk in the last few games.
High praise from Frank Martin.
Another freshman, of course. Yeah, very, very high praise. He doesn't have any complaints with the guy. He's a scorer, but he's also a scrapper. Love this kid.
From about 6 minutes a game to about 36 minutes a game, and we'll see how many minutes David Dixon gets with the start tonight. And before the game, he said, I think I can petition for another year, but by that point, what would he need, a PhD?
Yeah, right. There's no question.
Doctorate of some sort.
He become the university president.
Now Grant with the Euro goes left. He rolls out, though. Batted around, eventually comes down to Clark. Off the window for the offensive rebound. Cut it off. You're throwing over 6'10" from distance.
It's like overthrowing Harold Carmichael back in the day.
Clark, no look to Gunn and a slam. Oh, R.J. Gunn. Usually
there by Clark, as you see. You're not even looking at the man. That's not basically coached through my childhood, well, my birth, childhood, adolescence, teen years, and more. And anybody who knows anything about Duquesne basketball knows the mark that he left on Pittsburgh basketball, and certainly this program at school.
And Rochoff, this is the third or fourth time Duquesne's gotten a second look on an offensive rebound. And McGriff pays it off with a three. Doing a nice job on the offensive glass.
You're coming exact board, I guess, 6 months from now.
Yeah. Actually, won't get them this year, right? Because they're on the road.
No, we're going to go. Simple.
Clark from the corner. A trade for Jimmy Trey Clark. I'm sort of focused, a little bit pulled in different directions right now.
You probably have more trades in your mind than Peyton.
Clark runs to the screen up high, dodges the ball and gets it.
Dribbled himself into a problem.
Dixon tries to reverse right-handed over the window.
Team was long, and we've seen that a couple of different times. I saw it with certainly the freshman from New Zealand you mentioned just a few minutes ago. There's no question about that. And then I've also seen it as well with, here we go, Diggins.
JC3 with another three. Jimmy Clark.
He's one off.
It's his second. At just under 12 points per game. He's only averaged about 9.5 in the last 4. Turnovers are a bit up. He's had 13 turnovers over those 4 games.
Make a mistake, a bonehead mistake once in a while. But make no mistake about it. This is a guy that came in. He claimed, Clark does it, he had the opportunity to be recruited out of high school.
Just saved your life.
I know he did.
Let's acknowledge that. The man just saved your life by getting that ball. And not throwing himself into your lap.
Notice I kept talking.
In the corner for Parra, and that one is no good as Dixon gets yet another rebound for him. He's good in that end of the floor. Clark has to jump to save it. Gets it down low to Dixon. Can't catch it cleanly. Now makes a move. Finds the angle with the right hand.
That's complicated.
In fast break points, you see how A plus B equals C.
That's not hard. And again, I think that's been just an invaluable tool talking to coaches. I've done it for years. It makes us, getting their insight is tremendous. tremendous.
Rotroff, a dunk before the buzzer, and they do it again, Ellis.
This is unbelievable.
They are unreal executing here at the UPMC Cooper Fieldhouse with the last possession before halftime. How many times have we seen a standing O because of the last play for Duquesne?
Yep.
He's coming from the bench for McGriff. And
look at this crossover. That's sick.
The breakdown and the finish for Austin Rotroff as Duquesne goes into the locker room with a healthy lead, looking for the 20th pick. Just the top of the key. Lost it for a moment. Thompson gets it back.
Nice.
And that pass knocked away by Jimmy Clark tonight.
Oh, he's been on a run, has he not, the last 2 or 3 games, stacking 20s.
But 10 straight in double digits, and 4 of them have been 20-point games. But it's been a struggle tonight.
Good hand. Yeah.
And it goes off of Luis.
I don't say
now he's in double digits with 10.
I'm just talking about him defensively, needing to get better at it on the ball.
Gunn rolled in, rolled out. And Luis gets jersey tugged on the foul, didn't get a turnover. In the open floor is Clark with the dunk.
Luis now up to 20, 8 of 14. He's putting a show on.
Duquesne +8 as we approach the 6-minute mark. Clark, line drive! And he winds the clock.
Now, Clark now has 16, 5 of 10, and 3 of 4 from 3. He's putting a show on. So that's where we are. A little bit of, noise in that game. Look at this. He gets it, set shot. Typically, I like guys stepping into it. He had it perfectly. We've seen him out here before games just take dozens and dozens from those spots. But Tim, I've always thought that everything. You remember my sons when they were that age.
I do.
That's when you were Uncle Tim. Now you're Mr. Benz.
I think better the first way.
Yeah.
Now Grant, that one looked good. Yeah. And if you can't hit it from the perimeter, get closer. UMass, by the way, sitting on 17 fouls. Now Dominguez with the roll, tries to leave it for Conte. Now it's kicked around to Clark.
Well, I tell you, Jimmy had his lock on Luis there.
Grant wanted it the whole way, never got it.
Thinking to myself, well, were we seeing the turnover sort of widen, and is that related to fatigue or what have you? It's 21 to 11 in that department, and Mass has 21, but they've got 9 guys to play.
Dominguez up to 11 points. Brewer has looked really confident from beyond the arc today.
He has been, as we mentioned, the last few games today.
I hadn't noticed that until you pointed that out. Why didn't I notice that?
What's that?
That his weight wasn't listed.
Yeah, I was trying to get your attention, but you're
actually... here comes Jimmy Clark.
Throw it off.
Good effort, though, by Thompson, who hustles back quickly. I'm going to say the foul is on the floor.
I agree.
Thompson in his back pocket.
Yeah, I mean, he wouldn't have minded going off last week. Obviously, he felt this guy. No, that's a good... No, that was a good call. You were talking about different things that Duquesne can connect with this game. History. Looking for a school record for home wins to go.
Austin seems to happen.
I like it.
Frank Martin does too after 15 points and 5 of 8 shooting, but Keith Dambrot likes Austin Rotroff too.
Yes, sir.
Rotroff has got a ton of the time.
The second chance doesn't work either. Clark navigates Chulton in the flush. The first points of the afternoon.